Oh yeah. It's day 13. Bad omen for some, could be for our housemates, as they try and pass their second task to become fully fledged Cub Scouts. Will they do it? Stay tuned on Big Brother's Little Brother, and we will tell you all. Cub Scouts, do your best.
We will do our best.
Yeah, give me 5. Thanks. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Big Brother's Little Brother. Woohoo! Yeah, absolutely. Today we're joined by some professional Cub Scouts to tell us how they rate the housemates' performance in the task. Plus, a battle of the sexes is raging in the house. There are cracks appearing, and we have sexpert Rachel Morris. She's here to tell us why those cracks indeed are appearing. But first, we kick off in a kind of cumbersome climb over the sofa, as we always do with Little Brother's big news. Yesterday morning, Steph noticed that one of the fish, the orange one with black streaks, which could have been called Dermot in the previous life, was looking decidedly under the weather. Take a look at this.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's pretty tough news. Big Brother removed the fish at 1:52 a.m. It died at 6:40 a.m. A post-mortem, no joke, is expected. Initial thoughts are that the fish was overfed and exposed due to too much sunlight. Probable coroner's verdict is death by human error. We will keep you posted, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, one of the housemates took it upon themselves to rewrite the immortal words of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. We'll give you one guess as to who that might have been.
2 bedrooms, both alike in dignity, in fair Elstree where we lay our scene. From ancient conflict break to new cooperation, where uncouth mouths make civil tongues unclean. From forth the fetid beds of these 2 rooms, a dozen housemates take their prize, whose adventurous, piteous diet does with their dumps destroy Big Brother's loo.
Quite scary. Even more scary is the fact that Cameron was wearing nothing but a towel whilst listening to it. John is planning to recite his oeuvre in a cabaret performance the housemates have decided to put on tonight. And finally, the chickens, it seems, are getting as fractious as the housemates. Poor old Tanya got a bit of a shock this afternoon when she visited their coop to pick up some eggs.
Oh, wow, you've laid another egg. Look at it. Brilliant, chicken. Have you laid one? Oh, nothing. It just flapped into my face. Stop. I didn't do anything to you.
Don't actually think they can understand you. Latest news on the chicken front is too much wheat was in their diet, making them a bit poorly. So Parsley and the small white unnamed one, which could be called Dermot, have gone off for a checkup. The chickens are allowed human contact with the outside world, unlike the housemates. That was Little Brother's big news. OK, since Friday, there's been a lot of tension in the house, with the boys on one side and the girls on the other. The boys reckon the girls are greedy. The girls think the boys are a bit cliquey. With all that in mind, today's Cool BBLB is boys versus girls. Whose gang would you rather be in? It is a toughie. Here's how to get in touch. OK, for this week's task, the housemates had to try and become honorary Cub Scouts in just 4 days. Quite tough from someone having been in the boys' brigade, and that place was run like a brutal regime, let me tell you, when I was there. Sure it isn't now. They bet 65% of their shopping budget on the task, which means if they lose, they'll have to live on £33 and 5 pence. That's all of them for the whole week. Before we went on air, Cameron, John and Justine had to put up a tent as part of the task to see how they get on.
But just
leave it in, but just peg it, just knock it.
Just knock it.
I'm not sure the string will work.
Can we see how they're doing now? Is John out there? There we go. John fixing the old tent pegs.
Yeah.
Justine doesn't look like she's doing much. Hanging out at the back there, just watching John. with just a mixture of just kind of bemusement, and I think there's a bit of attraction going on there, I have to say. And Cameron there looking down at John. I don't know if he's just in awe or despairing.
Is that supposed to be online with anything?
Probably despairing.
Yeah,
Let's just OK, now we'll update you on how the other housemates are doing as and when. Now, I've asked some real-life Cubs to the show today. Hey, Cubs. Yeah, that is brilliant. Now, you've come down today. We're going to be speaking to you guys later on. But unfortunately, you know, I know part of the Cub motto, or your raison d'etre, as it were, is to do good turns and so forth, do good deeds. Is that right? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the studio's a bit messy. So would you mind just going and clearing it up for us? Thanks. Chop, chop. Off you go. Double time.
What's up, Dermot? Can't you afford cleaners?
No, you can't. Work harder. There's some old ladies in the gallery. Go and do them a good turn. OK, and we're also joined by Cub Scout leader, otherwise known as R. Kayla, Lynn Brushwood's going to tell us how she thinks her housemates are performing in the task. Hello, welcome to Big Brother's Little
Thank you
Brother.
very much.
Hope you're very well. Let's have this. What's he doing? He's doing nothing. Chop, chop. Come on, get that brush in your hand. There you go, that's more like it. Good lad. OK. Big Brother gave the housemates the task in order to challenge them. I mean, why'd you put the Cubs through these tests?
Basically, it gives them the opportunity to have a go at something they may not have done before, to learn new skills, pick up any new interests and hobbies that they want to take on, and actually to have some fun. That's what it's all about.
I have to say, they're very good cleaners.
They are pretty good, aren't they?
The poor little kid there hasn't got a feather duster. He's using his cup. Oh, there you go. Give it a good old... Good lad, excellent. Oh, he's very strong, isn't he? OK, Big Brother give the housemates these tasks. I mean... Do you think they're put through the paces with these tasks or not? I
think the housemates have certainly been put through their paces. I mean, putting up a tent like that, if they've never done it before, is not an easy task.
You couldn't ask these guys to do that.
Oh, these guys will do it, no problem.
A tent that big?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Really?
Absolutely.
OK, how do you rate the housemates' performance overall from what you've seen?
Overall, they're not working too bad as a team. There are one or two people that are becoming clear leaders. But overall, not too bad. I wouldn't rate them particularly well. Certainly, I think the Cub Scouts here would give them a run for their money.
Right, OK, but he wouldn't. Look at him down there. He's doing absolutely nothing. Can we just have a look? There we go, look at that. Just flicking the brush around there.
Hey, Sam.
Name? Sam, put a bit of elbow grease into it, mate. Go on. Good lad. OK. What about the individuals? Who are you impressed with or unimpressed with in particular?
I think there's three that we're particularly impressed with. Nush, Goss and also John. The three of them are certainly, taking a little bit more of the leadership role. They're really getting into it, they're really enthusiastic and they're having some fun at the same time.
What in particular have they done that's impressed you?
Well, John, I mean, he's very thorough in his work and he's been helping out some of the other housemates with the revision of some of the Cub Scout dates and things like that. Nush has been really getting into it. She's just fantastic. She brings the female element into it and she's doing really well.
So who would make a good leader with that in mind? Those two guys?
I think any one of those three would actually do very well.
Okay. Would you have failed or passed them up to what they've done?
As individuals, probably some of them would have failed. Majority would have passed. But as an overall team, I think we probably would have passed them all.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. And finally, we're talking about the girl-boy divide in the group today. Do you see any evidence of that in the Cub Scouts?
Oh, absolutely.
Since 1991, of course, girls have been allowed in the Cub Scouts.
Yeah, there's certainly the competitive element. So you always want to get the girls always want to say, we can beat the boys, and vice versa. But they'll also work very well as a mixed team.
Interesting you just said you would have passed them as a group, because we've got breaking news in my ear. They've actually passed the tent element of the test. Absolutely, which I imagine you're very happy about.
Yeah, that's good.
OK, thank you very much from
Can I just stop you there?
Yes, you can.
We would, on behalf of the 500,000 members, 500,000 members of the Scout Association UK, we'd like to present you with this certificate, Dermot, as an honorary Cub Scout.
Really? There we go. How about that? Wonderful. Who's that little fella down there? What's his name? Oh, it's just what's his name?
I don't know, actually.
It's just a character, but I love him all the same. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sam. Sam, get working. Lovely. More from all the Cubs later on. Don't forget, today's Cool BBLB is girls versus boys. Which gang would you rather be in? I want to hear your thoughts on the battle of the sexes raging in the house. After the break, Sexpert, I'm glad I said that very loudly with all the Cubs around, Rachel Morris will tell us why the boys and girls are at war. Please don't go away. See you in 3. Hey, welcome back to Big Brother's Little Brother. The phone-in today is quite simply boys versus girls. Which group would you rather be in? We've got loads of emails here. One from Uma from Hackney. I'd be in the girls' team. The boys are a bunch of arrogant chickens, apart from Cameron, that is. What one have you got there?
The girls are too scheming. I would want to hang out with the fit boys, especially Fed and Ray. 4.
4 indeed. Gemma from Whetstone. We're here with bona fide Cub Scouts, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for them. Yeah. OK, I want to get to the bottom of this whole task. Now, we can confirm that the guys have passed the 10th element of the task, but, I mean, do you think the housemates make good cubs?
No.
Why not?
Because they're too slow and they don't do teamwork.
Do they not? Do you think they're working as individuals too much, yeah?
Yeah.
OK, you don't do that, no? Excellent, OK. Now, which of them would you let in your pack? Have you got a favourite?
Probably Goss, because he cooks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do any of you guys cook? You get a chance to cook while
I
you're out and
sometimes
about?
do when I'm with my mum.
Yeah, OK. What do you cook when you're with your mum?
All sorts.
Yeah, what's your favourite? You know?
I don't know. No.
OK, cool, fair enough. Would you let any of them in your pack, Tim?
Yeah.
Now, Tim's a 6er, so that's a badge holder of responsibility, am I right?
Yeah.
OK, so who would you let as part of your pack? Do you like Goss?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like Goss? OK, what about Tanya? Because I imagine the boys like Tanya, right?
No.
And Nush. They so do, you can tell. OK, if you could set them a... Well, hello, you're right. Don't fall asleep there, Sam. If you could set them a cub task, would you set them... What task would you like to set them, Sam? No idea? No? What about you guys? What about you, Victoria? A task. If you could set them any... What's the hardest thing you've had to do since you've been in the Cubs?
Any of the activities.
Be blindfolded.
Be blindfolded?
Yeah.
You don't want to get those guys blindfolded. That's very strong. OK. And who's your favourite in the house? Anyone?
John.
Goss, John. Go on, John. Thomas, you haven't seen much of Big Brother this year, have you?
No.
Why is that?
My mum always wants to watch Coronation Street.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for that, Mum. Thanks, Thomas. Loving your work. Would you like to see it?
No.
OK. Shouldn't have just gone the extra mile there, should I? Should I?
No.
Thanks. OK. 6 boys, 5 girls, not much love lost between them. Where did it all go wrong? Let's have a look.
There's definitely a clear air between boys and girls.
Wouldn't it be nice if all the girls were just left?
These girls tend to get a bit more blazing than boys.
I'm going to call a house meeting tomorrow.
I don't think the girls so bothered by it all though, are they? Yeah. It's more of a boy thing, isn't it?
I can't see girls nominating each other.
They're going to want to sort of protect each other.
We might have to have an all-girl group and an all-boy group.
If we're going to talk to anyone, it seems to be with someone of the same sex in this house.
Girls against boys.
What we do is we clean film the toilet, because they've got to sit down.
Yeah.
Is it girls against boys?
I hope so.
We thought it was about time we got to the bottom of this battle of the sexes. So we have Cosmos Magazine's sex editor, Rachel Morris, is here to tell us why the relationship between the girls and the boys has broken down. Hello.
Hello. Oh, guys, it's too much.
You've got to love Cub Scouts applauding you.
With that job title, yes.
Which incidents do you think in the boy-the-girl war have stood out for you?
I think the food issue is the big thing. We all know that boys, any woman watching this will know, when you're walking down the street, your boyfriend, your perfectly normal, loving man, suddenly turns into a bear. He's sniping, he's nasty, and you can't figure out what you did wrong. And then you realise he hasn't eaten for 2.5 hours.
Really?
He needs to eat.
You think?
Men really suffer with hyperglycemia. This is why the boys are going, lay off our food.
Is it true that the girls grazing a little more, though, to be fair, or not?
Well, if they are grazing more, it's because they don't really care. It's not like... It's not the primary source in their mind. They're far more interested in their intimate relationships than the food issue. Whereas the boys, it's a really primary function. There's a lot of talk about boys thinking about sex more than, as the most common thought. But actually it's food. Men think about food all the time. They always know what they're going to eat and what they want to eat and when they want to eat it.
So why do they always go on about women in chocolate rather than guys in chocolate?
Because guys aren't that interested in chocolate necessarily.
Mashed potatoes.
It's mashed potatoes, sausages.
Yeah.
It's meat.
No, I can relate. I subscribe to that scripture. OK, so is it normal for a big mixed group like this to divide into boy-girl groups?
Yes. You've actually got to the point now where the sort of, the newness of the whole situation has worn off.
Yeah.
And they're now loveless. They're without the people in their lives that constantly give them the reassurance and the approval that they're good people, they're lovable people.
I'm without them.
Well, yeah. So they're there together. And so what they're doing doing is they're going to move off into the corners where they feel most at home. So obviously gender similarities are going to draw you into that place. And it's a bit like schoolroom. When we get really vulnerable, we turn into children.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens at primary school. The lads over there, you know, girls, ugh.
It's kind of got like that in a strange way, though.
Exactly, and nobody likes each other.
Does this explain how the boys diss the girls in one breath and then they all sit around while they're all together and talk about which ones they fancy?
That's really, really simple. Men can separate emotions from sex. So the fact that a girl might be really, really teeing them off doesn't make any difference at all about what they want to do to them in their dreams.
I can't. Let me assure you.
So you're a very sensitive man and you sit down and you care.
Irrespective of that, I think you're selling yourself short if it's just all about...
Obviously, but it's all still, that's what men do.
Okay,
that's
cool.
what they do.
I'm going to take your word for it. Does sexual tension play a part in all of this?
I don't think it would...
When you see these group of happy souls, do you think there's any sexual tension there?
It may be, but if it is, it's probably playing out in food. Food and sex actually alert pretty similar brain chemicals and all sorts of neurotransmitters get flying off about this. That's why women can say they prefer chocolate than sex sometimes. It actually alerts a similar brain path. So the fact that maybe they're not getting any sex means food's more important.
How does this problem get solved?
I think that what's got to happen is I've identified Scott as being somebody who doesn't really want to play this boy game, and Noosh, I don't think she wants to play either. If they were to communicate more, the other groups might see them as traitors, but it would actually force the boundaries down.
Yeah, okay.
I think they'll both do that.
If this happens, who do you think is going to be the peacemakers?
I think Noosh and Scott are probably most likely to be the peacemakers. Remember, Noosh has lived in communities before. She will have seen these dynamics already.
Okay, cool. And what about from the boys? Scott, did you say?
Scott, I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. But he's part of that whole 3 Amigo clique at the moment.
Well, kind of, but I'm not sure that he's really in it. I think he doesn't seem to be inspiring it. He doesn't seem to be pushing it. He's more kind of going along with it.
I think also we're seeing the makings of that at the moment. In 2 or 3 weeks' time, it could be a lot, could it be a lot more distinct, or could it be totally fractured?
It could be either. I mean, it really is 50-50 right now.
Okay.
But Scott's my man.
The ringleader amongst the girls and the boys at the moment?
John and Justine.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Is that why, John and Justine, they went from massage buddies to two people that, certainly in Justine's case, you can't stand to be in the same room as him at the moment.
I know. You see, I actually think that Justine isn't saying something at the moment because her absolute loathing of him is it's out of all proportion. There's nothing this guy has done. All right, he's a bit of a control freak, he's bossy, he's a bit up himself, but that's no reason to give him the kind of look she's giving him.
Sure.
I think there's something she's not saying. She's saying that perhaps he reminds her of somebody on the outside world who's perhaps made some sort of sexually inappropriate movement towards her. I don't know, but there's something going on there.
OK, brilliant. OK, in a minute we're going to be taking your calls, boys versus girls, which side are you on? But first a reminder of tonight's news. First up, one of the fish is dead. A post-mortem's being carried out and we'll keep you posted. Rachel, please do not laugh about that. Secondly, John has rewritten some of Shakespeare's finest work, Romeo and Juliet, with his fellow housemates as the stars. And poor old Tanya might be avoiding the chicken coop from now on for a while after being chased out by the chickens this morning. Today's Cool BBLB. Girls or boys, which gang would you rather be in? First up, Nikki from Somerset. Hey, Nikki.
Hiya, Dermot.
You all right?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
OK, go for it.
I've got to say the boys.
OK, why?
Tactical voting, for one. Naughty. Very
Really?
naughty. Only one girl voted for a fellow girl.
Do you think that is tactical voting, or do you just think that that's the way they feel?
I think it's tactical voting.
OK.
I really do. And the other one has got to be the food issue. I think the girls are being a little bit piggy.
Do you think?
Being piggy?
Yeah.
You think so? Don't you think that they're just more bothered? That the boys are just more bothered about the food ringing out, and the girls know that they could live without the food?
I bring up a son, so I know how important food is to my son, DJ.
Well, there you go. They're just making a bigger fuss. They're just moaning. It's like they haven't got off the breast yet.
Pardon?
It's like they haven't got off the breast yet. They still need, feeding every 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I say get over it. They could all lose a bit of weight.
To be fair to Goss did highlight the fact that they've been using all the sugar and to make bread and so forth. I mean,
well, Goss, of course, would know that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Goss would know that. I say they should trust Goss. This is a guy who's worked in a kitchen. He knows how to budget. They should just let him do it.
Trust in Goss.
Yeah, trust in Goss.
Have you got a favourite, Nikki, while we're on the line?
At the moment, no. I do like John.
Okay.
I must admit, I do like John.
Thank you.
Can I also say hello to my son?
DJ?
Yep.
You've just done it. Thank you very
Brilliant.
much.
Thanks, Dermot.
Love to know if he is a DJ or if his name is DJ. Very interesting. OK, next up, Stephanie from London. Hey, Stephanie.
Oh, Dermot, your legs are wonderful.
Oh, would you stop?
Hello.
Stephanie.
Best thing all evening. I'm for the girls.
Why so?
Well, I'll tell you why. All I've seen the boys in the kitchen do is absolutely nothing. I've seen more of them sitting in the pool having a yak about what the girls are doing wrong, but I actually haven't seen any of the boys, apart from Goss, of course, whose job it is to provide for the boys, actually doing anything. I've seen Steph washing up, I've seen Justine washing up, I've seen Steph in the kitchen first thing in the morning making breakfast, but I haven't seen anything of the boys.
Tent. The girls did the girls' jobs and the boys are doing...
Well, that's right, but the girls should therefore be allowed to reap what they sow. They should be allowed to eat the proceeds of what they make. And anyway, as for putting sugar in bread, nah, I don't know what bread Goss is making. I never put sugar in bread.
Very good. Stephanie, I'd like to invite you down and come on the show and actually interview you because you seem to know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I have to, we try and be as impartial as we possibly can, but I have to almost take your side on that because...
Can we bake bread together?
Oh, yes. I'm sure we can...
Where's this going?
Sure conduct a loaves and fishes miracle, if you know what I'm saying. Thank you very much, Stephanie. OK. Letitia from Oxford. Hello, Letitia.
Hello, Dermot, you gorgeous man.
OK. Go for it.
I really think here that I'm on the boys' side wholeheartedly. The boys are not putting on a front. They're sort of more natural than the girls. They're always up for a laugh and, much more pleasing to the eye for us girls. I think the girls really are just too girly. They're always crying. They're always just not being themselves. And I think they might even have a dark side to them, a little...
I think you've got a point there, actually, because I did think earlier on, if it was the moisturiser that the boys were using, then we'd see hell from the girls, rather than the food.
And I just want to be able to say, go girl, not no girl,
They do seem to be crying quite a lot.
All the time. And they're just,
and that's not
too girly for my liking.
Well, why do you think that is? I mean, is it just because of the pressure they're
I think
under?
that it's because they've got, like I said earlier, that they've got to this vulnerable state. They're used to having somebody, their mums, their sisters, their boyfriends. Nobody's putting their arms around them saying, you're all right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they've only got each other.
I think probably the last call we've got now is Sharon from Northamptonshire. Hello, Sharon.
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you?
Yeah, cool. Go for it.
I'm on the girls' side.
Okay,
but
why?
I think Federico is the instigator.
In what respect?
In the boys, because he's done everything he can to divide them, or he keeps complaining about the girls behind their back to the boys, and the boys are listening to him. It's beginning to work as well, and he's making the girls feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
Definitely got a point.
Rico's certainly the old spanner in the works for the moment, isn't it? OK, thank you very much, Sharon. Pretty much all we have time for today. I'd like to thank you, good lady.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you very much to the Cubs.
Great.
God, I love the Cubs. We are back tomorrow at 6 o'clock, analysing dreams on Big Brothers, Little Brothers. See you then. Have a great night. Take care.